What's going on?
Aliens. Aliens,
right
that's
back
what's
to
going
it.
on. They're taking over.
There's a new video that is sending shockwaves throughout the UFO community. This footage was reportedly taken at a U.S. Joint Operations Base, showing what appears to be this jellyfish flying through the air.
By the way, you can actually see it rotate, so now people are analyzing it. So let's throw away these ridiculous things to try to dismiss it and say, what is it?
You believe you saw something that wasn't from this planet?
I believe I saw something, yeah, that wasn't like from Earth.
Aliens. Are they really there, or is the universe just playing tricks with us?
There it is. There it is. Son of a gun, right down the middle of the road.
If you focus just a little, you'll realize there are signs of alien life everywhere. And today, we're finally bringing everything to light.
Oh my God! What is that?
These beings were recorded secretly by a camera mounted on one of the rocks. Almost instantly, you can tell they look like just human beings with a costume on. And honestly, with the way things are going, this very much may be a possibility. But there are several UFO enthusiasts who sincerely believe we coexist with alien life. This may very well be an interpretation of that, and you know, as crazy as that it seems, is it really the craziest thought out there? Miami's shadow aliens.
Rumors of aliens invading Miami are going viral on social media.
This is for real, folks. The conspiracy theory stems from a large police presence at Bayside Marketplace on New Year's Day.
In January 2024, downtown Miami saw a horde of police cars and policemen all ready to take down, allegedly, a few delinquents.
There's a big crowd of people running out of Bayside and kind of grouping up outside. And then we hear more commotion, and now they're all just running through the streets.
After the aerial footage was released, however, many keen-eyed observers noticed a clear lack of such delinquents and a tall, shadowy figure that clearly rivaled NBA players. Roughly 10 meters tall, this figure is believed to be a race of aliens, appearing like a shadow from above. Many believe the cops were called to ward off an alien invasion and have successfully captured the aliens, and are not only covering up, but hiding them somewhere in an Area 51 type facility.
The real question is, are they friendly? Are they after us? Are they gonna attack us? Are they gonna do world domination on us?
Farmer's Delirium.
Please come out, this isn't funny.
After one American farmer's continuous run-ins with a mysterious being, he finally decided to settle the dust. Grabbing a camera to record, he went out to investigate the fields. For a few minutes, all was quiet, until something moved in the cornfields.
This is so creepy. Oh, jeez!
Terrified and on alert, the brave farmer continued his investigation, until he finally caught this.
Oh, jeez! Jeez! Oh, he got too close that time.
A short alien, clearly hiding behind the fields in hope it won't be caught. Now, the farmer never really got to capture it, as it quickly fled into the fields, but the proof of its existence is stronger than ever.
Oh, he got way too close. Oh, man. That was scary.
Area 51's raid. Remember the attempted break-in into Area 51? Well, one anonymous person claims they did actually get in and recorded this.
Come on, man, what?
Now, this alien appears only for a short few seconds, so get a good look. It was allegedly staying inside a hidden chamber, and since we haven't got much information, it's safe to assume that whoever recorded this barely made it out safe. And that's why they're so reluctant to put out actual information. Well, what do you think about this? Lunar landing. I've always wondered why we haven't really made a big attempt to go back on the moon. And now, I know why. Apparently this was captured by the last mission that went out to the moon. And, yep, it looks like the giant rock is essentially occupied by some race of species that we didn't even know existed. That's right, this alien was secretly recorded. And while NASA can give us plenty of reasons why a trip back to the moon isn't in the cards right now, a single glance at this, and you understand what they've been covering up all this time.
There it is. gun right down the middle of the road.
Dark silhouette.
Recently, we told you about that spooky situation in Las Vegas when a flash in the sky was captured on video.
As a meteor appeared over a Las Vegas neighborhood, cops quickly rushed to a house after hearing reports of an alien. That's right, one family was convinced they'd seen aliens in their backyard and even had some proof to back it up.
You believe you saw something that wasn't from this planet?
I believe I saw something, yeah, that wasn't like from Earth.
After their case went viral, it attracted tons of ufologists, including an evidence expert who, using the latest technology, claimed that it indeed was possible the household was visited by extraterrestrial creatures. Well, there you have it, folks. Even the news is reporting this, which means we really are living with aliens, and we didn't even know it.
We see three guys who was driving a black Suburban with U.S. government plates in it. They was passing around. They was, when we opened the garage, we went through them. They just run away.
Brazil giants. A couple of months ago, locals in a Brazilian town noticed two beings on the top of a hill. Now, before you chalk it off to just two people standing, consider this. Wherever this hill is, it has no discernible path, so most locals haven't been able to climb it due to thick vegetation. It also goes to show that the height of these creatures from that big of a distance is too tall for them to be humans. These creatures are at least 8-10 feet tall, which we know is an inhumane characteristic. And lastly, they even had elongated arms. If you focus just a tad bit, you'll see that. So, are these aliens trying to spy over us? Andromeda.
I like rusty spoons.
What if aliens don't look the way in the movies? What if they've already donned human suits and are perfectly capable of fooling us? Now, when this video was released on social media accounts, netizens bombarded the original poster, who did nothing to deny their claims that he was an alien disguised as a human. Soon later, he deleted his socials, prompting netizens to think that they'd hit the mark with their theories. The thing is, if aliens really are infiltrating the human race, what could they want? And why aren't they making themselves prominent?
I like to touch them. The feeling of rust against my salad finger.
Skinny Bob. Meet Skinny Bob, the extraterrestrial allegedly from the Zeta star system, who is said to have crash-landed on Earth in 1949. Quickly apprehended by authorities, it was photographed and kept in a secretive facility. For years, Skinny Bob's story was unknown until 11 years ago, a whistleblower named Victor leaked footage. It is believed that Skinny Bob belonged to the highly intelligent Greys, with claims that the KGB held it against its will. There are reports suggesting that Skinny Bob may have passed away in captivity about 5 years after the video surfaced, but the truth of this remains uncertain. Permafrost Creature.
Пойдем. Где нашли? Вон, собака хули унюхалась. И все, мы хули думаем, что за нахуй лежит?
Years back, before the Nazca mummies were a thing, a video popped up online. It showed two Russians coming across what seemed like an alien body in the snow. This odd creature was missing a leg, and its spots suggested it had been there a while, only showing up as the snow melted. Unlike the aliens we're used to seeing in films, this one was super skinny, with veins showing all over. It looked like a species we haven't seen before, maybe finding itself on Earth by accident. Poor guy, certainly not the lift it had planned.
Вообще как это ебать, непонятно.
Peruvian Anomaly.
Y cuando ya ella se da cuenta.
Imagine being at the gas station a couple of hours after midnight, with nothing but the occasional passing cars to accompany you, and then seeing a strange creature gradually float its way to you. This happened to two Peruvian gas station workers who understandably freaked out when they noticed the mysterious creature. One of them, braver of the lot, did try to go and check it out. But as he approached closer, the creature disappeared, leaving him confused. Seconds later, you can see the mysterious creature return and float behind him. The workers swear it might have been a ghost. But many are beginning to wonder if it's some extraterrestrial creature.
Ay. Se puede ver clarita sus patitas.
Grey's Anatomy.
It's kept dark for the comfort of the aliens. The figure who is just barely visible in the left foreground is the telepath.
We all know that theory, that the government's been shaking hands with the aliens. Well, if you'd like to get to the bottom of this, just see this. Yep, this was allegedly filmed in a secret compartment in Area 51. These medical practitioners are trying to help out an alien that was being kept in Area 51 but feels sick. Now, we don't know what goes on inside, or why they're even catering to the aliens. But if they're providing great medical care, they're definitely planning something big with the aliens. Well, you might want to stick around and find out, but I'd rather sit out this one.
It's kept dark for the comfort of the aliens. The figure who is just barely visible in the left foreground is the telepath.
Jellyfish UFO. For a couple of years now, the jellyfish UFO has been making the rounds on social media, but its identity is still a big question, mainly because it was first seen on a military base in Iraq, leaving U.S. soldiers stumped. The jellyfish UFO has continued to perplex us, because even the military doesn't know what it is, or how it was able to access prohibited airspace without being detected. The same UFO has reportedly been seen all across the world in various places, but where it comes from, where it goes, and who's manning it are still big questions we don't have answers to. Turkish Anomaly.
Korna çalsana. Çekil teyze çekil. Geliyor.
Two Turkish friends were driving along an abandoned mountain road when something stopped their path. Initially assuming it was just an animal, they drove closer, only to realize whatever this thing was, it clearly wasn't from Earth. The air now filled with fear, with both friends contemplating what to do. Before they could decide, though, to their horror, the humanoid creature stepped closer and closer, with the duo reciting verses to save themselves.
Ayağı falan baksana, ayağı falan ters yamuk mu?
The video cuts off, but we can safely assume whatever they ran into wasn't human, much less an expected visitor, and definitely drove them off.
Dur bakalım, baksana.
Backyardigan. We think aliens will suddenly pop up in the sky and take over the world, but maybe we're already experiencing a silent invasion and just don't know it yet. In Brazil, as a couple of neighborhood kids gathered around to celebrate something, a camera recorded something peculiar at the very back of the woods. See how it initially looks like a doll, and then there's the slightest hint of a movement, so, that's not the case. Well, if it's not just a prop that's lying in the back, and if it's something that can clearly move, what is it? Some sort of alien checking out the human race, or one trying to get by without being noticed? Trail of mystery. When you're out in the woods alone, with nothing to support you but a flimsy phone, you're bound to attract predators. But not the kind that you think. One explorer apparently ran into a creature that had a humanoid body but no discernible human features. It had a pale, thin body with an elongated head, and that's how, it wasn't just a prankster donning a costume. Naturally, the explorer who ran into this creature was freaked out. But even freakier is not knowing what happened to the alien or the explorer. Crevices horror. You're probably wondering why this guy's breathless and scared. Well, watch what he ended up finding when he decided to explore a cave that had been sectioned off from visitors. Yep, those are aliens. Now, before you go off on a rant claiming these are just humans, think about where they are. In a very narrow crevice, where no human would be able to fit through. Which means these aliens probably have some sort of secret portal to go through. Stalked enough. A homeowner in North Carolina kept feeling as if he was being watched. After days of feeling like this, he decided he'd had enough and set out to investigate, armed with a camera in hopes of getting evidence. Following the areas where he'd constantly felt under watch, he eventually wound up staring at the top, where, to his horror, a humanoid being popped out. But before the man could proceed, the alien ducked out of view and hasn't been seen since then. Peruvian Vanguard. Many UFO and alien enthusiasts wish to encounter extraterrestrial life, but when they finally do, it never goes the way they expected. An amateur enthusiast traced an alien to a Peruvian forest and finally managed to film it too. Only it didn't really end up according to plans because the pesky creature still ended up running away. After the man chased, he was forced to put the phone down and hasn't been heard of since. However, this video now proves that aliens really do exist, and they're clever enough to evade being captured. Nightmare reconstructed. The human race is fascinating. It's probably the reason aliens are taking over the world and even infiltrating places like graveyards. Who knows what this abhorrent creature had in mind? Perhaps it thought lounging at a graveyard would be safe because not many people go there. But the groundskeeper noticed the creature and even recorded its venture. Well, so much so for being discreet, but many are now wondering if this is an alien at all. Some think it could very well be the hint of the start of a zombie apocalypse, and that's a thought I'm not willing to entertain. Glimpse in the dark. Playing tag with an alien from outer space isn't everyone's idea of fun, and it might not even be this guy's. A man, terrified that he was being followed, began recording his walk home. As he approached the trees in his front yard, he noticed something peering out at him from behind the gap in the trees, just as he redirected his camera. And yep, that's definitely some sort of alien creature. Now, who knows who's hiding from who? But encountering an alien this close and then never really finding out what happened is an unsettling thing even for me. Bizarre remains. If you think aliens only appear like they do in the movies, well, one explorer's trip into a Siberian forest will change your mind. Instead of humans relying on aliens for help, it looks like it's the other way around. This creature, if we can even call it that, was found lifeless. In the remote forest. Initially, the man who found it just thought it was a bizarre skeleton, belonging perhaps to a monkey, but experts have quickly ruled this out. Now, we've got one blaring question. If it isn't an animal, what is it? Honestly, since we've confirmed alien life multiple times, I'm beginning to think this is proof that they've been living with us for ages. Vaga Alien. The Vaga Alien is a bizarre humanoid alien being that reportedly stalked residents of Vaga, Brazil in 1996. Initially, no outsider believed the Vaga alien existed, and everyone was sure the residents were cooking up a story to get fame. But weeks later, somebody released this footage, allegedly of the same alien that had been haunting locals. Now, no one was sure of the truth. On one hand, the story seemed so plausible, especially with the evidence. On the other hand, meeting extraterrestrials was never considered possible. Today, though, we know aliens can exist, and so can the Vaga aliens. Evolvo. Convulsing and moving in a way inhumane. As much as we'd like to believe this isn't real, it possibly is. The creature was allegedly captured by a researcher who snuck it into his research facility. Oddly, as his spine was clearly moving in an inhumane way, the anonymous researcher noticed how some of his features resembled a man. Since this is the only information we've got to go on, it's entirely possible that this is some alien-human hybrid. Or we're all being fooled and this is just hogwash. Thoughts? Forest dweller. When you see something like this in the middle of the woods, you know it's time to say your prayers. Now, this isn't some crazy fungal growth, though we wish. This is an alien creature that was found lifeless by an explorer in a Japanese forest. Right away, the explorer knew he'd unearthed something strange, but was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt and chalk it off as just a prop. However, the closer he came, the realer the creature got. And he realized it really was an alien being that had been abandoned in the woods and subsequently lost its life. Mama Miami. Remember the fiasco in Miami Mall about aliens allegedly swooping in and stopping most shoppers from getting out until the cops arrived? Even though it made the news, most witnesses refused to say anything because nobody would believe them. But now, an anonymous security guard has released this. The same creature that was spotted in the mall just hours before was recorded hurrying from neighborhood to neighborhood in order to make an escape. Well, what do you think? Caught in 4K. An unnamed man secretly captured an alien-like creature that had landed in his backyard. Nobody knows what happened to the alien or the man. Both of them vanished without a trace, with not even the higher authorities being able to locate them. However, this footage was recovered from the dark web a while ago, and you can clearly see some sort of alien being trying to figure out where it was being held and how to escape. It's entirely possible it did, but we can't really say for sure. Cornhole Discovery. Imagine staring out at the fields at night and spotting this. Nope, this isn't a scarecrow or anything of the sort. It's actually some sort of extraterrestrial creature that had reportedly been stalking a farmer in Chile for a while. Ultimately, the farmer got tired of playing hide-and-seek and decided to stay out late in hopes of finding out what sort of creature was responsible for his missing stock. And unusual sounds being heard? After seeing this, though, I doubt he had a good night's sleep. Cave Dweller. We all know how smart aliens can be, and they're already proving this by making hidey holes in places we wouldn't even dream of searching. A couple of kids hoping for some thrill got a little more than they bargained for when they entered a crystal cave and discovered an alien moving about. Thankfully, they hid behind one of the rocks inside. But can you imagine the horror if they'd gotten captured? It was a close call, especially since the alien did almost see them. Zeta Reticulins. Zeta Reticulins, or gray aliens, are a race of extraterrestrials that often appear during alien abductions and alleged interactions. For a long time, we've quipped about their existence, but we haven't really had concrete proof now, do we? Well, take a look at this. Apparently, Zeta Reticulins have appeared a few times, with one of its most recent appearances being caught on camera. Of course, there's no way to verify where this was taken or where it went to. But boy, are we coming closer to discovering alien life day by day. Bond in. I don't know why aliens think they'll get away with hiding, but they've certainly picked places we wouldn't have imagined, like a barn, for example. Most of us wouldn't think there's an alien there, but this video proves otherwise, definitely belonging to the Zeta Reticulins. This creature probably landed somewhere close and is taking cover in the barn until the coast is clear. Of course, it didn't account for the camera mounted up to keep an eye on the animals. But since we've got no further visual, it's safe to assume it's probably gone back home now. Secret landing? Who knew aliens had been parking in our forests all that time? Well, considering only naturalists and brave explorers go out into the woods, it's safe to say many aliens probably think they'll be safe out in the wilderness. Well, the same can't be said for this guy, who's clearly unaware it's being filmed. Now, don't freak out. It's about time we embrace the idea of aliens coming on Earth, especially after the freaking Pentagon has basically verified their existence. The only thing to worry about is this a friend or an enemy? Hidden in view. At the site of a horrible accident, as people ensured the safety of the victims, who thankfully made it out alive and unharmed, someone recorded the incident. The idea was to have enough proof for when the cops showed up. But little did the cameraman know he'd be recording an alien in disguise. See that man on the left there? The one who looks like he's wearing sunglasses? Experts have taken apart the video and claim these aren't just shades, but covers for slit-like eyes. Well, what if the alien in disguise was the one behind this incident? House shifter. You think aliens aren't a threat until you realize they've been living in your house all this time? Think I'm pulling your leg? Take a look at this. If you spotted something like this in your home, just admit you'd be too freaked out to say anything. Since this was spotted by a homeowner in the early throes of the morning, he was barely able to comprehend what was going on. By the time he was able to do something, it was too late. But the question is there an alien that's living in your attic? Better sleep with an eye open. Shine struck. This is allegedly the video of an amateur explorer who on one of his many exploring adventures ran into an alien being. Now be wary because you will see the alien in vivid shape, which is why many are beginning to wonder if this is true. But the creepier thing is, the anonymous explorer disappeared after this video, which was only found stored up on his camera with no clue where it was filmed or what happened to the alien and the man who ran into it. Some think the man may have been apprehended by the authorities. Others believe the aliens got something to do with it. But the truth is unknown. Mutated aliens. If you're one of many wondering what this is, so is the Arizonian man who found it. According to him, this creature just appeared in his yard. As he observed, he realized it very much was a real creature, living just a couple of hours prior to its appearance. While we have no idea what took its life, the bigger question remains about its identity. Experts are still investigating, but they think this could be a mutated alien. It's possible it belongs to a race of aliens that's hiding among us and was only accidentally brought here due to a mysterious phenomenon. Camper's nightmare. What is it with aliens camping out in the woods? Perhaps they think some thick vegetation will save them, or maybe they're onto something here. This little fella is assumed to have escaped from a UFO and was supposedly stuck on Earth. Another theory is that this might not be aliens from space, but aliens from Earth. Some think there's a race of subhumans that live deep in the woods, and that's why they haven't been caught yet, because they know humans well and know how to evade capture. Aliens escape. Well, this certainly changes things. If we didn't think UFOs existed before, we certainly have to now. And of course, that means believing their human counterparts too. It was captured by a man checking out a hill behind his backyard. Apparently, he thought some kids were messing around in the area. So he decided to leave a camera behind, instead capturing this. As for why there isn't an inquiry into this, we all know how busy the authorities like to be, especially when it comes to something like this. Maybe we'll find out soon what it really is. Gone with the Wind. You're about to see something that will blow your mind away. You know how we all know aliens are living with us? Well, here's something the movies won't tell us. There's a theory according to which aliens have set up portals all over the world, some even inside buildings. That's why you can see this alien clearly enter a building under construction and then quickly disappear without making an exit. Of course, after checking out the security footage, the owner did look into it, but couldn't find out how the alien got away unless he's secretly hosting a portal that only extraterrestrials know how to unlock. Deps Berserk. When a shadowy figure takes over your house, that's when you know that place is no longer your home. It seems like more and more people are having run-ins with aliens, and that too inside their homes. I don't know who recorded this or where it happened, but he did anonymously upload the video. Speaking of which, I've been wondering why most people remain anonymous. And you know, what if they've been warned by the authorities to not let proof of alien life slip? Perhaps the authorities are trying to not let the rest of us know that something's afoot. Nazca's Conundrum. Among the Nazca aliens discovered in the caves, this was too. Apparently, the spelunkers initially assumed this was just a prop or some type of scarecrow left behind to creep them out. But when the video went viral, many keen-eyed observers noticed something else. Notice how this extraterrestrial being slightly opens its eyes? Now, many people think this could be its tactic. It's playing possum, so when people think it's just a prop, it'll run away. And allegedly, that is what it did. Superiosa. Maybe we're not that close to an alien invasion. Sure, they're a superior race, but being cooped up in an alien planet must be tough, which might explain why this guy's trying to slither its way across the path. Apparently, this part of the woods is commonly used as a hunting ground, which is why there's a camera mounted high up. The alien seems to be aware of this and quickly dips from view, only to suddenly reemerge seconds later and tackle the camera. Well, that's not a good sign. Quebec extraterrestrial. A few years back, a YouTuber shared a video claiming to have evidence of an alien crash in Quebec, Canada, which was quietly picked up by officials. The story goes that a snowmobiler first came across the alien, realized it had passed, and snapped some photos before alerting the authorities. Predictably, once the officials found out, the Quebec alien disappeared without a trace. Even with this footage, there's still so much unknown, like what kind of species it was or where it ended up. The mystery remains, leaving us with more questions than answers about its origins and fate. Triacyl Alien. In the late 90s, while digging through a Mexican citadel, researchers stumbled upon a peculiar creature by a wall. Initially scared, they were about to flee but paused upon seeing the creature was injured. They moved it to an open area of the citadel, filming everything to document their find. The alien appeared bewildered, unsure of how it got there, hinting it might have crash-landed recently and was still dazed. Dubbed the Mexican Triacyl, it had only 3 fingers and toes. As filming continued, the alien trembled in fear and then sadly passed away. It's rumored its body was quietly buried somewhere within the citadel, hidden from the world. Open discussion. On the 2nd of August, 2024, a camera captured this. Now, initially, it looks like the jellyfish UFO that had been floating around for a while, last seen flying over a military base in Iraq, and now seen casually floating over a neighborhood in Miami. Because we've got this close a look, this brings alien creatures into a new light. Well, you know how we think aliens look like elastic creatures? What if they've been looking like robots all along, with an appearance like this? That certainly puts the importance of tech into place.